Uh-oh. Alright, so this is pretty much a real quick short vid just to show how to line the timing gears up on a vvti engine. I know people do it two different ways. The way I do it works every time. To me, it's more so the proper way to do it, just because when it comes from the factory, the gears are already marked by Toyota, so I try to stick it by the way Toyota does it, and it never fails. So I'll show you real quick. Alright, so everything's already removed. I did timing belts in the past. If you want to see how to take everything apart, there's a bunch of videos like that down in the below this video. So on the Gs300, the best way to go about it is to take the radiator out, because you know the fans in the way, the cooling fans. But once you get down here to the timing gears, I remark these are the dots. So show you, because I'm about to do the seals now. So see, you got a dot right there, and then you got the slash marks. So when it comes from the factory, when you first open this, these are already pre-marked. I just remarked them just because, you know, fresh whiteout marker. This is the vvti gear. Your vvti gear should spin freely when you take the timing belt off. If not, you should get that changed out, because it's supposed to spin freely. Because this adjusts with your RPM and your torque and your power band and everything. Even though these are slow, they do have some type of power band. But it does supposed to spin freely even though this bolt's loose. And as you see, I marked that on the dot too. The dots are actually before top dead center. The slashes are at top dead center. These cars, these 2JZ GE vvtis are interference motors, meaning if you do this wrong, you will get your valve will come into contact with your pistons, and you pretty much destroy your valves. So try to get that right the first time. So as long as you set them before top dead center with the dots, like I always tell everybody, a lot of people do it with the slashes, but all in all, as long as the slashes line up and it lines up with down here on the timing gear, you'd be good. But if you notice with the dots right here, so you see that notch that I wired out, that lines up with the back end plate dot. So as long as you line that tooth up right here with that dot, it's kind of off because I took everything off, but I'll line up when I get everything on and show y'all and start it to let y'all know it works. As long as you line all these up, you'll be all right, you'll be good to go. These are a little bit off just because, like I said, I took the belt off and everything, and it's just going to be that way. But I'll show you when I put everything back on how they supposed to be lined up, and we could go from there. I wasn't going to record any of this. I planned on doing it the way I'm doing it now, just because just taking this timing belt off, trying to record and get good angles. This took me all day just to get good angles for you guys. So I apologize if you're looking for the video with me disassembling the whole thing, because that's just not going to happen today. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and put everything together and show you guys how it's supposed to look, and we could get a first start up. It's really not needed to remove the intake. I just removed it because we gotta do the valve cover gaskets on here, so had to remove the intake manifold, which isn't bad. I just removed the upper half of it and just pull it off, and you get everything. And try to change your hoses too, because a lot of these hoses are gonna crack. All right, so got everything back on, semi cleaned up. It needs a real degrees job on here. So like I said, I did the dots. My marks line up so far right now, and down the bottom right there. So the thing is, you had to spin it 360 degrees, make sure everything lines up. Everything lines up, you should be good to go. All right, so I'm gonna give you a real-time feed just in case. So there's no cheap parlor trick. So I just spent it already, so I know for a fact it'll line up. But so that's 180 when the crankshaft lines up. ahead, try to take the time, and boom, everything lines up, top and bottom. So you should be good to go. As long as you do it this way, you can't use the slots like I said. So I'll show you with the slots lined up. So you can't see it, but so bam. One slot, and then that's the other one. Not sure if you can see it. And then down here, let me see, rewind it. Yeah. Bam, slots line up. So when you're doing it, you want to go real slow because this will look like it's off some when it's really not. So just see that, with the Woodrow key to this one, to that notch right there. And then the slot here to the backing plate, slot here to the backing plate. So you could do either or, the dots like I showed you how I do it, or you can use the slots. Either or will work. Yeah, hopefully that helps. I'm gonna go ahead, put it together, get a car start up. The exhaust does have a real bad exhaust leak, so it's gonna be a little loud, but just to show you that it does definitely works. Man, we could go ahead and put this thing together now. Right, so started up, everything's good. Buttons coming from the exhaust leak that kind of tacked it up a little bit, so good to go. Everything's burped, should be all bleeded out. Everything should be bleeded by now. The heat's hot, so it should be good. And then my man, he got the paddle shifters. These actually work, so should be good to go. All right, bro. Oh, the exhaust, the hangers. Jeez. Ain't too bad. Uh-oh. All right, guys. So that didn't go as planned. It's not clickbait video or anything. Mike's car actually did cut off in the middle of my block. Automatically I thought that the timing belt popped, the timing belt slipped, something with the timing went wrong. That's what I thought until I went over everything. Luckily I'm pretty decent when diagnosing issues as like a no start crank issues, and I'm semi decent with it. So the first thing I checked was spark. It was not getting any spark. And the fuel pump wasn't cutting on, so that led me to believe it was a fuse issue, or electrical issue or whatnot. I was going to just wire in like a relay for the fuel pump, so the relay, as soon as the battery sends 12 volt back to the relay, it activates the relay and cuts the pump on. But I stopped myself before I did all that work. I did check the time, and the timing and everything lined up perfect. But come to find out, the main EFI fuse blew in the middle of my block. It is what it is. Things like that happen. That led us to believe that the O2 sensor that was underneath his car, closest to the mid pipe, well, actually in the mid pipe, when his exhaust broke, the O2 sensor wires actually came completely apart, and it was bad wires underneath. When I was welding, I completely forgot to actually pull the wire from underneath the car and unplug it. So with that being said, when the car fully warmed up and everything, and the O2 sensors was time for them to register, we believe that it sent a bad signal, causing more so like a ground in the power to connect somehow and blow the fuse. Long story short, the car's good. He got home, he's at work now, and he's good to go. Not sure if I mentioned on the startup video when the car was actually running, as I was going through editing the video, I actually watched the video, and the exhaust, like I sealed the exhaust up, but it's not completely sealed on top. It was no real point to completely seal it, mainly because you have to drop the whole exhaust to get to that part, and he has a new exhaust coming. So in the video, it is not the engine tapping. While I'm editing the video, I'm like, oh my goodness, it sounds like the engine is tapping. Start it up, everything's good. And it's not the engine tapping. It's a nice size gap on the top of the exhaust. Just, exhaust is coming out and it's putting. After a while, it did seal up. Once the car warms up, metal expands, it seals, but it only did but so much. So if you hear that sound like it's tapping in the video, that's not the engine. That's just the exhaust tapping. Mike actually recorded a video for me of the car actually running everything, and on his video, he said it sounds like the car's tapping. So it's not the car tapping, it's the exhaust putting, guys. That's just how it is with audio. Messing with these little GoPros, audio is not always the best in a lot of circumstances. So it is what it is. So false alarm. I almost had a heart attack when the car cut off. I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm about to have to open this car up again, and hopefully the engine's good. But nothing really happened to it as far as really bad. Just a blown fuse, just because some wires on the old O2 sensor touched. That was my bad. When I was underneath, some weld had actually dropped and hit my arm, and that's when I just stopped. Where I said, bro, that's the best I can do as far as patching the exhaust. He does have a brand new exhaust setup coming in, so we're gonna throw that on. But I can show you, like, it actually, you see that part of my tattoo? Yeah, the hot lava fell into my jacket when I was welding, and I just had to slide from under there and get it out of my jacket. So it messed me up, but the car's good. That's what we do, baby. So I'm gonna go ahead and let you guys go, and I catch you on the next video. Hopefully this video helps somebody. Peace out.